Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're doing episode number 37 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams into the best teams possible for my team unlimited and/or competitive play based on how much MT you have and what your squad is currently looking like. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 5,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate your support if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's not waste any time. And let's start off with the first team in today's video, which comes in from my boy F-Gun. He's got 224 KMT, plays on next gen. He's willing to tactically downgrade anyone. I can definitely look at the squad. Like, when you look at the team, it's a great team already. He's got really great players at every single position. It's not a team that is in need of significant upgrades. I do think there are ways that you can improve this team, though, without spending significant amounts of MT, or even potentially with the ability to save a little bit of MT. One of the first things that I would probably personally consider doing would be selling LaMelo Ball and swapping him out for Zach LaVine. I just think LaVine is a better option than LaMelo. He gives you a lot more offensively. Honestly, still a super solid defender. His movement is better. I like LaVine a ton. He's a guy I'd consider picking up. Additionally, Pippen's a great card. I just don't think he's quite worth the MT that he's going for right now. I think you sell Scottie Pippen. I think you add Ben Simmons. It gives you more size. You move Luka to the 2, start Ben at the 1, and I think that's another upgrade that you can make that will really just, I mean, it may move your team laterally, may not significantly upgrade, but I think it is a slight upgrade, and it is going to save you a little bit of MT as well. At that point, I think you'll be left with closer to 300,000 or 400,000 MT, and at that, I mean, you don't have to do anything at that point with the squad that you have. You have an absolutely amazing team, obviously, but you could downgrade LeBron as well. You can pick up an Andre Kirilenko, a Danny Ferry, even if you wanted to go cheaper than that, a guy who's going to be significantly less expensive than LeBron by a couple 100,000 MT, and save yourself some more MT. If you do those types of things, you're going to be looking at a team that is right at the level that your team is already at, but you're going to have saved yourself 300,000 or 400,000 MT, and you may even have a slightly improved team at that point. So definitely, for me, I think tactically downgrading really is the way to go. Just making your team about as good as it is right now, maybe even slightly upgraded, but saving yourself a lot of MT is the way to go. Next squad today comes in from Evan. I'm sure a lot of y'all know Evan, also a fellow YouTuber, one of my good buddies in the community as well. He's got 1.5 mil MT. Pop Justin, just thought I'd let you know. He's talking about Fade 2 Justin, who many of y'all may know of as well. Another one of my really good friends in the community. So he's trolling, obviously, but I will respond and help him out with his team still. Luka and RJ is super good. Braun at the 3. He's a big Braun fan. He loves LeBron, so we're going to definitely keep Braun in there. Bob Nedelicki, Yao Ming, KP, Wilt, Draymond, RJ, and Zach LaVine off the bench. Another super good squad. I do think there are a few spots you can upgrade. One, sell Draymond, replace him with Danny Ferry. Ferry is better than Draymond, much cheaper than Draymond. That's an easy swap right there. Second of all, at the shooting guard position, just grind for Michael Finley. I mean, I assume you're already grinding for Michael Finley. I think Evan is currently in the process of getting Finley, but definitely would get Finley to add to your squad. He's an easy guy. He's a free card. He's way better than RJ Barrett. He's honestly better than Richard Jefferson. That's another easy upgrade you could make. If you wanted to temporarily upgrade, you could go Dr. J or Joe Johnson. Either one of those guys, definitely going to be a super solid option off the bench at the shooting guard position, just temporarily until you get Finley. And then one other thing I personally would do would be selling Wilt. I don't love Wilt at power forward. I think a guy like a hero Kevin Garnett, or even if you want to pay a little bit more MT, a hero Giannis, either of those two guys would be great options that are just better, I think, overall than Wilt. They may not have the link of Wilt, but definitely much better releases, and both of them are also better playmakers than Wilt. So for me, I would probably look for Giannis, is my opinion, but you can also go KG at the 4. I think that would also help out your squad. And then finally, if you wanted to sell KP and get Taco as well, you have the MT to do so. Gives you the best 2 centers in the game in Taco and Yao, so maybe you want to consider doing that as well. Next team today comes up from KG. He's got 1.4 mil, but doesn't really want to go ham, and he's got a solid base squad. Markel, Josh Giddey, RJ and Danny Green, Danny Ferry, John Isaac, David Robinson, Tyler Hansbrough, Dikembe, and Boban. And I like that he's taken advantage of this Danny Green, Tyler Hansbrough duo that makes both of them really good cards. That is great to see. I will say, I think you would be benefited by spending a bit of MT. I don't like Boban very much, to be completely honest. I think, I say a little bit, you're going to have to spend a bit of MT, but I think you make one upgrade. If you want to save your MT, be smart with it. That is great. go get yourself a Yao Ming or a Taco Fall. One of the two, pick who you want. If you wanted to go Yao because maybe he's slightly cheaper, that would make sense. But definitely go get one of those two centers. It's going to be really valuable to have one of those guys, your starting center, to match up against other Yaos and guys like that, other Tacos. And then you can have Dikembe off your bench, who's also an elite defensive center. But I'm not a huge fan of Boban at this point in the game, and I think you would be benefited by picking up a guy like Yao or Taco. That's honestly the only upgrade that I would recommend that you make right now, though. You could also consider back a PG, a guy like Zach LaVine, who I've mentioned a couple times. He's now a buyout. Going to be pretty affordable and will definitely be an upgrade over Fultz, but super solid squad for sure. May has about 20 KMT. He's saying he'll actually have closer to 80 or 120 KMT, so we'll say about 100 KMT. He's got Steph, RJ, AK, Thurman, and D-Rob, with LaVine, Dr. J, Siakam, Jack Sigma, and Ralph Sampson off the bench. And he's got a good team. I personally think, first of all, you just sell Siakam, play Jack Sigma at the backup 4. He's just as good as Siakam at the 4, maybe even better. And that's going to save you MT, right? That's going to make you MT right there. So that's going to get you up to 150K or so. And at that point, you need two positions. You need a backup small forward, and you need a point guard to replace Steph Curry. I know Steph, he's a fun card, I guess. And if you want to keep running Steph, feel free. If you're a huge Steph fan, for example, Warriors guy, feel free to keep running him. But for me, I don't think he's worth his MT when he is so small and so limited defensively, especially on next gen, but even on current gen as well. He's not it, in my opinion. I think you go ahead and you sell Steph and you replace him with a guy like Jalen Green, who's cheaper and better. I think you pick up Danny Ferry at the backup 3, and at that point, you'll be honestly looking at closer to probably 200,000+ MT, and that would even give you the flexibility to pick up a guy like Kristaps Porzingis and move D-Rob to the bench, or Kareem and move D-Rob to the bench, which would also give you more depth at your center position, allow you to take Ralph Sampson, who's a bit outdated at this point, out of your lineup. So that'd give you a lineup of something along the lines of LaVine, RJ, AK Thurmond, and KP, with Jalen Green, Dr. J, Danny Ferry, Sigma, and D-Rob off the bench, which is a very, very well improved team, and honestly probably won't cost you a ton of MT from where your starting point is. Next team today comes in from Francisco. He's got almost 400K, looking to build the best team possible for Unlimited. He's got LaMelo, Marcus Smart, RJ, and Vince Carter, Draymond, Jimmy, Giannis, Al Horford, D-Rob, and KP. For me personally, I think it would benefit you to take advantage of the budget cards that you can add to some of these positions as upgrades, Jack Sigma or Nate Thurman, depending on how much MT you want to spend as a power forward to complement Giannis and replace Al Horford. At the 3, I would definitely, I would pick 2. RJ, I think, stays. Vince and Jimmy, I think, are close, but I'd probably prefer Jimmy, so I'd go Jimmy at the backup 2, and then I would start Danny Ferry at the 3, and you could bring Draymond off the bench at the 3 if you want. While you are, this is a good team, but I think you could also at the 3 grind for Fernando Martin. He's a good guy you can get, but for the time being, I think Ferry and Draymond as your 3s is going to be really, really good. Sigma or Thurman at the backup 4, and then LaVine over Marcus Smart and over LaMelo Ball. To be honest, give yourself a duo of LaVine and LaMelo as your PGs, and that's going to give you a few relatively significant upgrades that you can make that will probably cost you combined 200,000 MT or less, which is nice. And then I would, like I said, grind for Fernando, grind for Finley. You won't regret it. Second to last team today comes in from Nick. He's got 500K on current gen. Giddy and LaVine, RJ, Joe Johnson, Fernando, AK, Bob, Thurmond, Wilt, and KP. First thing I'm going to say, I don't love Wilt. I think I've made that pretty clear on this channel. He's not bad, but his release frustrates me. And for me, I think release is one of the most important things in the game on a card. I think you sell Wilt and replace him with Kareem. I think that's really a pretty simple upgrade. Actually, with the team that you have, I think you might sell Wilt and replace him with Yao or Taco, whoever's cheaper, but I think Yao's the cheaper option. I think sell Wilt, replace him with Yao. You're going to be probably at that point around the 250,000 MT mark or so, and at that point I would honestly just save your MT. But I think having Yao to guard other Yaos, guard other Tacos, give yourself more size in the front court is going to be very valuable on both ends of the court, and it's going to be a significant upgrade over Wilt. And yeah, while it might cost you a little bit of MT, I think that's probably the biggest upgrade that you could make right now that would really help your team out in a large way. And then finally, we got a team from Chris. He's got an amazing team, but he's only got 7,000 MT. He's got Ben, MJ, Giannis, Wilt, Taco, Luka, RJ, Danny Ferry, Amari, and Yao Ming. Definitely would keep your centers the same, and I'd keep your PGs the same. Also, your shooting guards are amazing. Small forwards are really good and powerful. I mean, you got a great team, but I think first tactically downgrade Invincible Giannis to the hero version. Even if you want to get a hero version with some extra Hall of Famers, you're just going to save yourself so much MT by downgrading there. And honestly, it's not going to change what you get on the court very much at all, because I think Invincible Giannis and Hero Giannis are much closer than people realize. Additionally, sell Wilt, replace him with a guy like Nate Nate Thurmond or Hero Kevin Garnett. One of those two guys will be a big upgrade over Wilt. And I think doing those two things will save you a bunch of MT, give you a lot of MT to play with in future weeks, and honestly keep your team about the same in level, or even potentially upgrade it a bit with a guy like KG or Thurmond, who are, in my opinion, better than Wilt, especially at the power forward position. So good team. Make sure you tactically downgrade that Giannis, add a power forward like Thurmond or KG. You got another great squad. So that is the last team for today's video, and that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you want to be involved in a future episode of this series, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link is in my description, and be on the lookout for a tweet about this series on Friday nights. I typically record these series Friday night or early Saturday morning, so definitely make sure to drop your team early if possible. But yeah, like I said, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully y'all did enjoy. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.